Welcome to another Sewing Sunday. I'm in the car. Why am I in the car? Because my next sewing project is going to be a visor extender. And I'm going to extend it out about 12 inches. I was on a long trip and the winter sun was way down here. And I pulled out my visor and that's it. That's as far as it went. And I understand, you know, you don't want to get it caught up in the rearview mirror. But yeah, I'm going to make an extender that goes over the visor. And I can just pull it out when I need to and push it back in when I don't need it. And I'm going to use that plastic corrugated cardboard that I used for the little key fob dangles. I made a template from the measurements I took, and this hooks into the right-hand side of the visor. This edge is the connector to the visor. It comes down about 7.5 inches. This is where the rearview mirror sits, so it can't go here. So the visor, as I pull it in, has to go beyond, it has to be pulled in beyond this. So it's going to be just sort of a sheath as opposed to a sock. Now I'm going to go out to the car and see if this is even close. I was off by just a little bit, and I had this in slightly the wrong spot, but I think this is going to be a good template. I'm going to cut it out to the line and then add another 1/2 inch all the way around for my seam allowance. This is the fabric I'm going to use. Isn't it amazing? It's so fun. I made a tote out of it. It's canvas, and I think it's going to be great. This is a piece of that corrugated cardboard I used for the key fob dangles. And it's not quite the right size, but the idea here is that the rearview mirror is in this spot, so it can never just naturally hang over here. It has to be able to shoot all the way back to at least here. And that gives it room where the end of the visor is to sit like this. So it needs to be this wide, but I can add another 1.5 inches up here on top. 12 inches, which is what I wanted to extend. So I really need it to be able to extend bigger because I need it to fit, you know, to go out 12 inches, but then it would just fall right off. So I might not be able to get it quite that big. I need to think more about it. Okay, I've thought about it. I can make the upper overhang of the sleeve, I guess, be 12 inches. But then the bottom can be the full 14. So I will make a curved cut here so that it goes all the way to here when it's in resting position. Then that way, open, I won't have to worry about this hole, and I can just pull it all the way across. And I still need it longer though. I might have to do like 2, like a small one inside. My prototype is just going to have one in the front. And if I have to, my secondary prototype will have another one in the back or something. I don't know yet. So anyway, I'm going to do my prototype number 1 and then we'll go from there. Alrighty, so that's the final template, and I'm going to cut out 2 pieces in this fabric. Okay, have that cut out. I cut it out on the fold so I don't have to sew up this long one. But I'm going to start by sewing this edge and the long edge and then see what I have to do at the end. Alright, here we go. One more time. Or, you know, I know it won't be the last time. And now we'll fit it to the visor and see how it goes. Well, that's fitting in pretty good now. I had to trim a little bit more off the bottom just because it was a bit tight here, but the rest of it's fitting nicely. I'm going to just go ahead and do a hem on the edges, on both edges, and then turn it inside out, do this top, turn it all right side out, and then just somehow and then just put it in there. I don't know. I have to make this first. Oh, my brain is killing me. I made the sheath, basically just going around the edge on both sides, and this will fit over the visor. I may have to still cut some off. I'm going to go out to the car and check it out, but if this is that little piece that's going to stick out. So if this is the visor closed, I'll just open the visor and hopefully pull this out and make it longer. But I don't know yet. We'll have to see how it works. And then I'll come back and adjust it, because I know that's only prototype number 3. And I might get up to 15. I refitted it to the visor, and I'm going to need some elastic on the end, so I'm going to fold this over. I've got plenty of room. I'm going to fold it over, put some elastic in there nice and tight. I need to shorten this up by another inch all the way across, and then here is where it's going to connect with the ceiling, the roof, and I'm going to trim it this way so that all of this can go all the way to the end. And then I'm going to put some Velcro here, because I was like, well, I can just sew it. And I thought, well, how am I going to get it off the visor if it's connected here and all the way down? Because it'll never come off the visor. So I'm going to put Velcro here on this end so I can just seal it. And when I want to replace it with something different, or if it gets dirty somehow, I have no idea, I can just unzip the Velcro and away I go. And the tighter the better, because this actually, when I squeezed this really tight in there, this was still going in and out perfectly, and it stayed upright, or I should say horizontal, the way I wanted it to. I shouldn't go like this. Horizontal the way I wanted it to, instead of like sagging down. That's what my one worry was. So I think it's going to work out. I can't do it right now. I'll have to do it a little bit later. And so I think it's coming along. And adjustments are being made as needed. Yay! Today's the day I'm going to hopefully finish the visor extender. I almost wish I had made it an extra inch longer, but I'm going to go ahead and use this. Not yesterday, because it's been since whatever, the other day, I went ahead and covered this completely and did some used embroidery thread just to finish it off, because I like embroidery thread. And then I kept measuring it with the car visor, and this is going to be the top, because the little part that sticks up and goes into the roof, this is where it's going to sit. So I need this to be open. So I'm going to take this part out and just sew it on a bit of an angle, not too much because it doesn't matter. And then I've got some Velcro here, and I'm going to make just a small piece of Velcro. Well, not small, but I don't think it needs to be quite as wide as this, but I'm going to put it right on the edge, because this gets a little bit too far from the end. This side does. And then once I do that, I'm going to go back out to the car and measure, because I know I can take probably an inch off the bottom, because I want it nice and tight. And then I'm going to put the elastic right in here. So this is going to be folding over, and the elastic, this wide elastic, gosh, that's wide. I don't know if I have any a little bit thinner, but the elastic is going to go here through this end, and so it keeps it nice and tight. So when I pull it out, it is like being gripped by the elastic, so that I can pull it as far out as I possibly can, which hopefully will be all the way to the end of the window. I did the angled flap that has to do with the connector into the ceiling, the roof of the car, and now I am going to put my 5 inches of Velcro right close to the very edge. I was going to thin them out a little bit, like cut them with 1/4 of it off or something, but I think I need as much strength as I can, because when I pull the visor, I don't want it to just pop out. I mean, I'm driving, right? So I'm going to do that now. on the car now. There it is in place. I could make it another 2 inches longer, but this has to stay where it is because it'll cover up this little hook here. And it's too long this way. But I'm going to keep with the board that I have in there now. So let me flip it. And now we'll pull the board out. And if it's nice and tight in there, it can stay where it's supposed to be when I have that elastic in there. I can go all the way to there. Oops, maybe not. Yeah, that's as big as it will be able to get, and that's with me pinching it. So if I add the 2 inches to it, I literally can't make it any longer than the 2 inches. So do I want to spend time making it 2 inches longer? Maybe. Well, I basted it and then ran out to the car and fitted it on, and it was still a little, what was it, a little too tight for some reason. So I basted it again, and it fits perfectly. So I'm going to actually sew it now. And it actually fits so nicely that I don't need the elastic in there, but I'm going to put it in there anyway just because, just for extra strength. I'm really excited. I'm getting close to being done. And my car is on the other side of the house, so I keep having to go back and forth. And that's the worst part about this. Okay, now I'm going to trim this off because I don't need that much. It just gets in the way when you're putting it up. And since the length of this is perfect on top, I think I'm going to get a piece of fabric and actually sew it on here all the way around and then put the elastic in that so I don't lose any of this edge at all, because I was going to fold it over, but it makes it kind of short. So I've never done that before. I'm going to have to think about it and see if I can wrap my head around it. I sewed the one side, and then I went ahead and ironed everything because I wanted to make sure I had enough room here for my elastic. So the elastic is going to sit just like this, so I'm going to sew right on the outside of the elastic, which gives me about an inch from the edge. I have all of this mess. This is going to be the back of the visor, so I don't have to ever look at it, no matter how lumpy bumpy it is. Now I'll feed in the elastic. This is a huge safety pin, but I'll get it to work. Wow, that really got tore up. Goodness. There are my marks that I made. So I'm just going to match them up now. I'm just going to close this up, and then I can go test it out. Wow, looks like a sleeve. And there it is, the sleeve to my new dress. You didn't know I was making a sleeve to my new dress, did you? All right, let's go test it out. There's my dress sleeve. And then the Velcro back here, so it stays where it's supposed to be. Don't have it exact. Oh, I'm doing it this way. Actually, instead of making a new one, I'm using this as the back. So this little corner that was supposed to be the front is now going to be the back. You got to be able to put the latch right on there. And it does. So this would fit like this normally, just like that. Isn't that cute though? See, you flip it up, it's totally out of the way. A little funky there, but that's okay. It's down and over here. I pull this out. Look at that. Look at that. That's nothing. It's like a hand instead of an arm. This is what it was like, an arm difference, which is ridiculous. I mean, that's ridiculous. And the thing goes to here. Yeah, anymore, and it popped out. So okay, I stuck it back in. So I can go to the edge of this blue dot. And that's just a hand. Wait, I can go further. Can I go further? A little bit more? Okay. To the green bit. So there's the hand. Yay! I think I accomplished my task of keeping so much, like 45-degree angle of the sun out of my face when I'm driving. Of course, it's not winter sun anymore, but if I drive north in the sunset or south in the sunrise, this will come in very handy. Happy Sunday!